one of those things that Seel is going to have to negotiate. I mean, it's a weird thing. You have the things to take down guys like Zenotto, and yet you stand a very real chance of losing to Mr. Muggs in the Arcadian. That's how it plays out sometimes. But I have to say, Seel thus far doesn't seem to be having too much trouble dealing out 80, now 90 percentage points worth of unanswered damage into triple digits, and only suffering single digits themselves. Only straight damage off of the Mecha Koopas thus far, though Mr. Muggs certainly trying to put a stop to that. Not much stopping you can do there, however. Mr. Muggs getting tagged up all the way by the Malice of Ice Climber.
He got his jump red, and that was just it. This could be a stock, the beautiful neutral air to keep them separated. And even though you survive, it's gonna be Sopo time here, Stu. The Squall Hammer gonna spin it out, barely able to hang on. That horizontal recovery not able to be contested. And this is where you make your bones as an ice climber. What can you do with the Sopo? Seel not able to do much, but has done a very good job of finding the spacing into around some of these hitboxes that Mr. Muggs is throwing out. He needs to, on stage, do a better job of just covering himself with his cannonball, with his Mecha Koopa, and really utilizing those hitboxes and trades. It's against Ice Climbers. There's two of them. There's two hitboxes. You're okay taking the trade because you get them so far away from each other.
It's so strange that you see this matchup because it feels like two characters where a lot of the agency, in theory at least, is taken away from you, but one more so than the other, because you have that second character that's CPU controlled, but you have ways to make it work for you, and Seel seems to, if not mastered that, then at the very least has gotten a very good grip on how to do so. But then again, you're talking about Bowser Jr. You're not really playing Bowser Jr. You're like, Mr. Muggs is not playing. Mr. Muggs is not playing Morton. He's like he's piloting a vehicle. He's playing that car, if we're being completely real. And that is just one of those things that you have to reckon with. There's a little bit that's taken out of your hands when you're dealing with something like the Ice Climbers matchup. Even if it does favor you on paper, there's just a little bit that you have to negotiate.
And Seel, they're trying to get a little cheeky with the shimmy with the Squall Hammer off stage, and then gonna lose his stock for an unfortunate SD, but great pressure from Mr. Muggs. This is after he only survived due to missing the footstool on Mr. Muggs the first time. We're seeing now the game taking down one good up air from Seel. Could just close it out, Ooh, not gonna do on that one, but because it's gonna hit that cart, Baojiao's bottom half being so much heavier. But can Mr. Muggs find that one hit to separate them? If so, he still could win this game yet, but gonna whiff it there.
Looking for the back air. Doing a decent job of keeping the two separated for the most part. But, oh, it's going to connect on the puppet with the F smash. It is amazing how relatively safe that move is, in all honesty. I do quite like it. Jab at the ledge that might have gotten the KO, and it is going to be the fork. Stick it in him. He is done, and that is game number one, going in the favor of Mr. Muggs. Seel is going to have to reconsider here.
And after just a taste of victory here, Stu, we're gonna see whether Seel can answer back. It was down to the wire. Just one drop confirmed here, one drop confirmed there, and some beautiful spacing from Mr. Muggs to find the separation, find the stock on Nana when it mattered most. Is all that it took to steal that game away from Shane. The question is, in game 2, what adjustments can he make? Hey, are we going to see him try and play a little bit more reactively, or are we going to see him try to overwhelm Mr. Muggs even more? Because it felt like the times that Mr. Muggs was taking advantage and coming out on top were the times that Seel was kind of getting caught in the middle. He was trying to play aggressive and then play, and it felt like he just wasn't committed to either of his answers, and that was where Mr. Muggs was answering him back.
Yeah, and Mr. Muggs, gotta say, this is as dominant as it seemed to be for Seel at the very beginning, Mr. Muggs did very well to just keep a relatively even keel and just employ the gameplay. And what you saw, again, you talk about the agency being taken out of your hands just a little bit. I'm gonna go regular old Bowser Jr. for this one. Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do when you're going Sopo. It's a little difficult, especially in this game, to navigate. But Seel, again, we have seen him take down some bigger names before. Not going to be keen to going down to Mr. Muggs on Hollow Bastion at the destination.
Finding the grab there, her beautiful stuff, utilizing Nana to take the hit to allow that grab to connect. But now we're seeing the Mecha Koopa come out, right? This is Mr. Muggs' X Factor, because he can take the hit, he can take the trade, and then it just sends Nana away. He gets to reset against that Sopo and find situations just like that one where there's nothing you can do if you're Shane. You just get overwhelmed by the amount of hurt, not even hitboxes, but hurt boxes, right? Mecha Koopa has one, Cannonball has one, and Baojiao himself. Sometimes just Ices doesn't, even with 4 hands, doesn't have enough to juggle everything that the Koopa Link's throwing.
So now as we're seeing Mr. Muggs just starting to have his way with this matchup. Seel, I mean, you gotta find the answers one way or another, and the way that Mr. Muggs is being allowed to set up with the Mecha Koopa to maybe control the negative space just a little bit more, and utilizing those hitboxes rather smartly, getting a mileage out of dash attack, weirdly enough. But yeah, those safe hitboxes certainly coming in handy, and the targeting, most of all, of that puppet is going to be something that Seel is going to have to fix, because they're getting split up just a little too easily for Seel to even consider a win condition.
And this was what, this is, right, we're seeing why it's so hard for Ices in this matchup, is just the way Bowser Jr.'s kit works. Forces just too many contested scenarios. You have to be incredibly creative, as well as Mr. Muggs having a skill we don't see a lot of in Ultimate, which is target priority. Like, this is normally a singles game, so having to fight a 2v1 and knowing who to hit when isn't something we see as often, except in doubles. Mr. Muggs has been on point, not made a wrong decision yet, and this is what's keeping him back. And even then, getting the single hit of the lick gonna be enough to just knock Sopo just a teeny bit too far away. And just like that, we're back in a last hit scenario. This is throwing shades of game 1 right back at me.
It is a terrifying prospect, but then again, we saw the beginning of game 1 and how that went for Mr. Muggs. Seel looking to replicate that here. Bowser Jr. in triple digits. Seel going to try to seal the deal here. 19.6%. Hanging on by a thread is Mr. Muggs, and Seel cutting it with as blunt an object as it was. An impressive feat, and we're going to a game number 3.
And we're gonna get one more for the Rogues too. If I'm not wrong, I believe we are in the closing moment of our block, but what better way to go on out with a bang than with an incredible set. The back and forth we've seen, the adaptations when both players have been excellent. Game 1, Mr. Muggs just was overwhelming with how efficient he was finding the hits to kill Nana and force the Sopo scenarios. Game 2 though, we saw Seel not get put in less of those situations necessarily, but find better ways to say, okay, if Nana's gonna get hit, I'm gonna position her so that Popo can actually find the whip on it. Found a couple more improvisational scenarios when he did drop a setup. He didn't get nothing out of it. He still got a little something. And that was all it took to skew the weight back in his favor. That being said, he's not done yet, and it's Mr. Muggs' counter pick advantage. Where are we gonna go? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, stage pick certainly of grand importance, and it looks like it's going to be one of the battlefield stages. And indeed it is. Got that top plat on deck. And now, how is it that Bowser Jr. is going to most efficient gain the advantage here? Because this is a small stage that you're dealing with. Supposedly, that means easier time for ice climbers to jump in, which means to tell me that perhaps maybe some sharking shenanigans is in play here, and try to utilize that up there just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, top plat on Battlefield can be kind of awkward, right, for Ices. This isn't a character that's gonna be, this is a character that really wants a lot more of those horizontal combos or find those juggles. Well, and so having those extra platforms to land with can be absolutely huge for Mr. Nugs. He can throw that up special, get out of dodge, retreat to the top platform like we just saw. And meanwhile, like, you have to deal with your platform sometimes disrupting your Blizzard Squall desyncs when you don't want them to. It can be really difficult for Ices to get in, but when they do, when they find a good juggle, I mean, they can cover so much space here, especially at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Muggs, certainly an impressive player, has a couple of wins on Haven and Beast. And most importantly, let's be real, Nintendo. But Seel right now at 86%, having a slight advantage, but is going to jump straight into the clutches of that F smash. Mr. Muggs just throwing it on out. Sometimes you gotta roll the dice, and he came up with a 7 on that.
And the Mecha Koopa coming back to theirs too, after the invulnerability, to then immediately say, oh, you don't even get to play neutral, it's just my turn again after taking this off. Mr. Muggs has just not allowed Seel a moment to breathe here, and has recognized, okay, here's when I hit Nana, here's when I hit Sobo. That might be the first wrong decision we've seen on that note all set long from him. And so far, Seel has been scrambling to find stocks in this game, to find those hits. He gets one there, but he's still got a lot of work left to do when he can't even get on platform, when those platforms, those traps of Mecha Koopa are just constantly where he wants to go.
Oh, and hang on, spin out all of a sudden. Mr. Muggs trying to take fate into his own hands. Could very well be doing so. That burnout is doing some work. And again, Mr. Muggs, perhaps you are piloting that vehicle. Perhaps you're not controlling Bowser Jr., but goodness gracious, putting on a masterclass in driving in this one. Sometimes you just gotta pump the clutch and make it happen, Ritual.
And now though, speaking of pumping the clutch, he might want to pump the brakes on the creativity because he got a little too cheeky with it, and Shane is now roaring back into this one, Stu. Only 30% separates the two. It's a dead even game. Just like that now. This could be Seel to take a He's got those ledge traps, and the desync online. It's gonna be Popo coming in clutch. Nana gonna get out of dodge though. The Mecha Koopa not gonna put you where you want to be, and a parry to get away from the up special explosion as well. Shane's pulling out all the stops at the end of this game.
The separations caused by the Mecha Koopa disrupting the offense of Seel and Mr. Muggs. I mean, yes, it is a way to lose yourself the stage, but only for a temporary measure. The cannonball, taking aim with it. Look for the F-Mash as well throughout the up. And Mr. Muggs whipping on every last one of them. Seel in triple digits. Not quite done yet. Mr. Muggs racing to the finish line, but Seel, with whatever resources he has left, trying to make it back to stage. But Mr. Muggs says, your fate is sealed. I'm driving on through the top 8.
And just like